We all about the benefits, baby. The potential health benefits of hydrogen gas is really the whole reason of why we do what we do. And we talk a lot about them here on H2 Minutes. We have 23 specific videos that cover the benefits of hydrogen, totaling over 4.5 hours of watch time if you include all of them. And we have talked about the benefits of hydrogen in even other videos as well. So for this video, we want to take all those 4 hours and condense them into a tiny little package so that you can get a bigger glance at some of the amazing benefits of hydrogen in one place. Okay, so here's the deal. We are going to need some audience participation for this video. I need you to find a piece of paper, a sticky note, a napkin, whatever, and something to write with. Every time I mention a health situation that hydrogen can potentially benefit, I want you to make a tally mark for you or everyone you know who has the same health situation. Don't worry, you will know when I mention one every time this symbol comes on the screen. Before we get into the benefits, we got to do a shout out to my H2 fam on Patreon. We want to thank all of those who have joined us on Patreon, especially the ones that are on the screen. You have made educating the world about hydrogen therapy possible through this YouTube channel. Check out the link in the description if you want to join us on our Patreon page. Now, back to the benefits. I don't want to make this an hour-long video, so we are going to go through these like rapid fire. If you want to know more, each video thumbnail will be on the screen and the link will be in the description. You ready? Here we go. We'll start simple with the common health situation of excessive inflammation. Chronic inflammation is linked to the pathogenesis of many diseases. And chronic inflammation is where your body's immune system gets confused and maintains a slow and long-term state of inflammation. H2 can potentially help inflammation in several ways, but in our video, we discuss 4 of them. By reducing oxidative stress, by downregulating pro-inflammatory cytokines, by upregulating anti-inflammatory cytokines, and by preventing or prohibiting the elevation of excessive inflammation in the first place. As stated in one study, hydrogen water's protective effects were from suppressing pro-inflammatory cytokines, as well as inducing anti-inflammatory cytokines. Next is the immune system. One important way to have a healthy immune system is to have healthy immune cells. And to have healthy immune cells, you need to have healthy mitochondria in those cells. One specific way that hydrogen supports the immune system via the mitochondria is something that is called immunometabolism. So what this means is that by adjusting or influencing the way these cells produce energy can alter their function or the way they handle cellular situations or the disease. We looked at some research in that video, and basically H2 was able to go in and reprogram the metabolism of the immune cells. And in another study, hydrogen reversed how the cells produce energy during an inflammatory response, which in turn benefited the lungs. There are many ways H2 may benefit the immune system, but in this video, we focus on this specific way. But we also list several other ways hydrogen can benefit the mitochondria at the end of that video. Next is a popular one, anti-aging. Aging is a major risk factor for diseases like cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and neurodegenerative disorders. In this video, we identify potential factors for the aging process. And these are some of the ways we mentioned in the video of how hydrogen can potentially benefit those things. In one particular study, they observed hydrogen water's anti-aging effect on oxidative damage. Drinking hydrogen-rich water is proposed to be effective in suppressing the negative effects of aging and inflammation. We learned that H2 had a long-lasting antioxidant and anti-aging effect through the NRF2 pathway. One study even goes so far to say that hydrogen-rich water may be a functional drink that increases longevity. This suggests a possible use of hydrogen-rich water in therapeutic interventions for age-related diseases due to its effect of increasing telomerase activity. Because of its antioxidant and anti-senescence effects, hydrogen water may be a potent anti-aging agent. It appears that hydrogen is involved in maintaining the redox state of the cell, making it able to suppress cellular senescence and individual aging. Therefore, H2 may be involved in the suppression of aging. On to the next, allergies. Hydrogen has the potential to prevent, protect, or reduce the effects of allergic reactions. There are 4 types of hypersensitivity, and we have evidence that hydrogen may potentially benefit most of them, if not all of them. Some diseases that correspond with these hypersensitivities are rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, MS, etc. But for this video, we stuck with type 1 hypersensitivity, also known as immediate sensitivity. Some examples of this type of sensitivity are hay fever, seasonal allergies, peanut or food allergies, asthma, etc. We explained that hydrogen can play a role in attenuating hay fever by improving the proportions and functions of these specific enzymes and white blood cells. In another study with hay fever, the sneezing, scratching, and inflammation were significantly decreased with hydrogen treatment. Drinking hydrogen water attenuated the allergic reaction and reduced the increase in histamine levels. And finally, the results of this study suggest that H2 could ameliorate type 1 allergies such as asthma, hay fever, pink eye, and hives. Next, how hydrogen can boost your energy. In this video, we discuss 5 ways of how hydrogen can increase your energy. We won't get into each one, but I will give you a few quotes. Because H2 can reduce oxidative stress in the cell and mitochondria, this helps the mitochondria to perform more efficiently, leading to an increase or a maintaining of normal ATP production. ATP levels directly reflect the activity of the mitochondria, and several reports suggest that H2 can protect the mitochondria from damage. Hydrogen markedly increased the antioxidant potential of the mitochondria as evidenced by the elevated ATP levels. Indeed, H2 stimulated energy metabolism as measured by oxygen consumption. Oral intake of hydrogen-rich water resulted in significantly higher ATP levels. Now, let's talk about hydrogen for sports or exercise. We made the case that hydrogen can aid performance, endurance, protection, and recovery. The first benefit, H2 for performance. Adequate hydration with hydrogen-rich water pre-exercise reduced blood lactate levels and improve exercise-induced decline of muscle function. So, in other words, hydrogen has the potential to help your body be stronger for longer during physical activity. Hydrogen water may also be able to help your brain in much needed ways to be able to perform at a more full potential. H2 for endurance. 2 weeks of hydrogen water intake may help maintain peak power output in repetitive sprints to exhaustion over 30 minutes. H2 for protection. An overabundance of ROS, reactive oxygen species, can cause oxidative stress in an athlete and can damage cells and can lead to a higher risk of soft tissue injuries or stress on your organs. Research shows that H2 can help to reduce oxidative stress. But here's the cool thing about H2. It does not interfere with the levels of ROS needed to receive the benefits of exercise. Also, keeping your heart healthy is essential for every aspect of training. And H2 may be an effective remedy to that necessity. And by just drinking hydrogen water, you may be able to prevent some of the negative effects that come with training harder and eating more. H2 for recovery. This study found that oral and topical hydrogen interventions led to a faster return to normal joint range of motion for both flexion and extension of the injured limb as compared with the control. Here is a quote from a study. Hydrogen therapy may be an effective and specific innovative treatment for exercise-induced oxidative stress and sports injury with the potential for the improvement of exercise performance. Lastly, hydrogen gas can improve post-exercise recovery and reduces the soreness from DOMS. In conclusion, hydrogen water improved muscle function, reduced lactate response, and alleviated delayed onset muscle soreness. The next benefit is hydrogen for pregnancy. One study showed that hydrogen decreased ischemic induced hypertension, oxidative stress, and angiogenic imbalances in the placenta. The results indicate that H2 has the potential to prevent preeclampsia. H2 administration has shown results in higher progesterone levels. Also, H2 may be an effective strategy for suppression of inflammation during preterm labor. It has been shown that H2 can reduce the expression of pro-inflammatory cytokines and oxidative damage in fetal brains. So get this. In the studies, the mothers drank hydrogen-rich water and it was able to reach and induce benefits for the baby. Prenatal H2 administration might protect the baby's premature brain from maternal inflammation. Overall, the results support the idea that H2 intake by the mother prevents hippocampal impairment of the offspring induced by ischemic reperfusion during the pregnancy. Other findings indicate that maternal H2 administration exerts neuroprotective effects for the offspring and ameliorates neurodevelopmental deficits in the offspring later in life. Now, these were all standalone videos, but we did a couple series of videos that were really in depth over some of the benefits of hydrogen. The most recent one, which we finished last year, was about hydrogen for the brain. First, we talked about hydrogen for general brain health. A healthy blood-brain barrier is very important and necessary for brain health. But get this, hydrogen not only can get through this barrier, but it can also protect it or enhance its function. The brain is also the most vulnerable organ to ROS or oxidative stress. Even in healthy individuals, aging, job stress, or cognitive load over several hours can induce oxidative stress. Hydrogen may be effective for reducing accumulative oxidative stress in the brain in daily life. Drinking H2 water can reduce the risk of lifestyle-related oxidative stress and neurodegeneration. H2 treatments were reported to protect against infection and brain inflammation. So essentially, drinking hydrogen-rich water or breathing hydrogen gas can protect your brain, not only now, but it may protect it from any future injury or stress that may happen to it. Hydrogen water exerted an antidepressant-like effect by preventing oxidative stress, inflammation, and apoptosis in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. Next, we talk about hydrogen for brain injuries. Within that video, we talk about traumatic brain injury. H2 treatment resulted in a better neurological outcome after a TBI by improving neurological dysfunction and reducing brain edema. H2 also decreased lesion volume after a TBI and blood-brain barrier permeability. Hydrogen inhalation attenuated sepsis-induced cognitive impairment and neuroinflammation. Hydrogen therapy is a beneficial strategy for the reduction of presence and severity of symptoms of sports-related mild TBI or concussion. We also talked about non-traumatic brain injuries, which is damage to the brain by internal factors, one being stroke, which we'll get to later, and also drug-induced brain injuries. For example, hydrogen might ameliorate meth-induced neurotoxicity and can potentially reduce the risk of neurodegeneration. The study found that hydrogen administration can reduce body weight loss, jumping behaviors, wet dog shake, and attenuated anxiety-like behaviors. This indicates hydrogen might ameliorate withdrawal symptoms and exert anti-anxiety-like effects in morphine withdrawal. We talked about hypoxic brain injury, which occurs when the oxygen to the brain is compromised. Some causes of this injury is cardiac arrest, near drowning, smoke inhalation, carbon monoxide poisoning, shock, drug overdoses, strangulation, or acute lung injury. Hydrogen treatment after this type of injury prevents deficits in sensory and motor reflexes and cognitive function. H2 also improves neurological scores, decrease markers of brain injury and the apparent volume of brain injury, and lessen the degree of injury in the tissue. Part 3 of the series was about hydrogen for brain disorders. We dropped some highlights about hydrogen for 10 common brain disorders. Let's look at some highlights of those highlights. H2 for ALS. In conclusion, the hydrogen molecule may have neuroprotective effects against ALS, possibly through abating oxidative and nitrosative stress and preserving mitochondrial function. H2 for Alzheimer. Hydrogen is a common, non-toxic, and safe medical gas, and its beneficial effects on Alzheimer's disease has been confirmed in many studies, mainly through anti-inflammatory, antioxidative stress, anti-apoptotic, and the regulation of autophagy and hormone signaling pathways. H2 for aneurysms. H2 gas or H2-rich saline has beneficial effects against early brain injury after a ruptured aneurysm. H2 for autism. They found that hydrogen-rich water administration significantly reversed autistic-like behaviors. Hydrogen reversed the behavioral abnormalities, including the higher anxiety level, the altered pain sensation, the decrease of social behaviors, and the impaired memory. H2 for cerebral palsy. Hydrogen gas inhalation is an effective strategy to help protect the brain from post-hemorrhagic consequences of brain atrophy, mental retardation, and cerebral palsy. H2 for epilepsy. H2 treatment reduced the incidence of seizure and improve neurological deficit scores. H2 for headaches. The prevalence of insomnia, dizziness, and headaches can be reduced significantly after H2 inhalation treatment. H2 for multiple sclerosis. Because hydrogen water is non-toxic, inexpensive, easily administered, and can readily cross the blood-brain barrier, hydrogen water may have great potential in the treatment of multiple sclerosis. H2 for Parkinson's disease. Early clinical experiments on Parkinson's disease show that H2 can significantly improve neurodegenerative symptoms. It is strongly suggested that hydrogen might provide a great advantage to prevent or to minimize the onset and progression of Parkinson's disease. H2 for tumors. Hydrogen gas monotherapy was started to control the tumor. After 4 months, the size of multiple brain tumors were reduced significantly, and the amount of hydrocephalus in the third ventricle and lateral ventricle reduced significantly. After 1 year, all brain tumors had disappeared. Our fourth and final episode for the brain series was on hydrogen for cognitive function. This one was a doozy and a lot of work. So I'm going to tell you about the topics and maybe a couple quotes. First, we talk about how hydrogen can benefit specific areas of the brain that play a role in cognitive function, like the hippocampus, the cerebellum, the prefrontal cortex, and the amygdala. Hydrogen had a beneficial effect on the hippocampus by decreasing inflammation levels and increasing antioxidant enzymes. Hydrogen was shown to prevent oxidative stress, inflammation, and cell death in the prefrontal cortex. And we talked about some specific ways hydrogen can benefit cognitive function, like helping with oxidative stress, neuroinflammation, microglia, synaptic loss, synaptic plasticity, and astrogliosis. And we talked about how hydrogen can influence neurotransmitters to benefit cognitive function, like glutamate, dopamine, acetylcholine, serotonin, and histamine. This study states that treatment with hydrogen water prevents age-related declines in cognitive ability, which was associated with increased brain serotonin levels. At the end, we summarized that through the research, hydrogen has potential to prevent cognitive impairment, prevent behavioral dysfunction, prevent a decline in learning, improve memory dysfunction, improve brain function, and improve mental alertness. Hydrogen displayed no side effects and might be a safe and effective alternative to caffeine for sleep deprivation. Don't worry if you don't understand some of those words. We explain each one in the actual video. Okay, we are already a long way into this benefit video and I haven't even gotten to the big boy yet. A few years ago, we did a 10-part series on how hydrogen can benefit the top 10 causes of death in the US. It was extensive and we put a lot of work into it. Let me give you the highlights, but definitely go check them out in full. We explain statistics, what each cause of death is, their causes, and the risk factors associated with them. And like always, we have plenty of quotes and sources for the highlights I'm about to say. Number 1, hydrogen for heart disease. Hydrogen can potentially improve overall heart function. Hydrogen may improve the function of the left and right ventricle of the heart. Hydrogen may protect the heart during ischemia and reperfusion. Hydrogen may significantly reduce cardiac hypertrophy and cardiac fibrosis. H2 may play an important role in improving arteriosclerosis. Molecular hydrogen has the potential to reduce high blood pressure. H2 has demonstrated the ability to potentially normalize or benefit cholesterol levels. H2 has the potential to reduce blood sugar levels and protect the body from high blood sugar damage. H2 has the potential to protect blood vessels and maintain their function. Hydrogen has potential recovery benefits after a cardiac arrest. Finally, hydrogen has the potential for the prevention of heart disease. Hydrogen may offer a simple, easy to use, safe, economic, novel approach for future cardiac protection. Number 2, hydrogen for cancer. Hydrogen can potentially reduce oxidative stress. Hydrogen may protect DNA. H2 may aid in suppressing somatic mutations. Hydrogen can potentially suppress cancer cell growth. Hydrogen can potentially induce cancer cell death. Hydrogen may be able to suppress the spread of cancer. Hydrogen can potentially aid in the effectiveness and protection of anti-cancer drugs. Hydrogen may be able to protect the body from radiation therapy. Hydrogen may play a beneficial role in improving the quality of life of cancer patients. Hydrogen has the potential to increase the survival rate of cancer patients. Hydrogen is expected to become a useful tool in clinical applications for anti-cancer therapy. Hydrogen water can easily be consumed in daily life and may be a promising antioxidant for the prevention and improved treatment of cancer. Number 3, COPD. For this video, we looked at how hydrogen can benefit COPD from 2 different angles. The first one being from a smaller scale, looking at the underlying mechanisms of COPD. Oxidative stress, inflammation, apoptosis or cell death, cellular senescence, autophagy, and homeostasis. And the second one being a larger scale, or the big issues that lead to or cause COPD, including smoking, smoke inhalation injury, environmental factors, lung injury, overall lung function, and related disorders such as emphysema, asthma, pulmonary fibrosis, and cough. Hydrogen inhalation can significantly reduce the levels of inflammation and apoptosis, restore the protease and anti-protease balance and protect the mitochondria, and ameliorate the pathologic structure of lung tissue, lung function, and cardiovascular function. Thus, hydrogen may slow the development of COPD. Number 4, accidents. Now, this one was a little outside the box. I mean, hydrogen can't prevent you from having an accident, right? So we based the video on specific accidents or effects of accidents and how hydrogen can help. In the research, hydrogen is shown to benefit wound injuries, burn injuries, internal injuries, and organ damage. Hydrogen can also benefit traumatic brain injuries, spinal injuries, hemorrhages or blood loss, and sepsis. And also has benefits for poisoning, accidental overdose, and pain. Number 5, stroke. In this video, we went through how hydrogen can be a benefit for stroke in a progression-like format. So we started with how hydrogen can aid or benefit the prevention of stroke. And then hydrogen can aid in the risk factors to further prevent strokes. Lifestyle risk factors like tobacco use, unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, and abuse of alcohol. All of these have been shown to be benefited by hydrogen, as well as other risk factors like hyperglycemia and hypertension. We talked about hydrogen's benefits for blood clots and the neuroprotective effects of hydrogen. Hydrogen may be a benefit for TIAs, ischemic stroke, and hemorrhagic strokes. We talked about how hydrogen can improve the risk of reoccurring strokes, and hydrogen can aid to the quality of life or long-term disability of stroke patients, and may improve the overall survival rate after a stroke. Number 6, Alzheimer's. Yes, we already talked about Alzheimer's in the brain disorder video, but this one is more in depth. We talk about how hydrogen can benefit Alzheimer's via reducing oxidative stress, and because hydrogen can potentially exhibit neuroprotection, anti-neuroinflammation, and anti-degeneration effects. Mitochondrial dysfunction has an early and dominant role in Alzheimer's disease, and hydrogen can benefit the mitochondria in multiple ways. Also, the hormone ghrelin has been associated with Alzheimer's, and hydrogen has been shown to induce ghrelin secretion, providing neurological benefit. We also discussed hydrogen for general dementia. Overall, the data demonstrated drinking hydrogen water daily prevented age-related learning and memory impairments. Number 7, diabetes. Hydrogen may benefit type 1 diabetes. The results here suggest hydrogen water can prevent cell death of pancreatic beta cells and the development of symptoms in type 1 diabetes. Hydrogen may benefit type 2 diabetes. Blood sugar levels and impaired glucose tolerance of type 2 diabetes were significantly improved. Hydrogen may benefit pre-diabetes. This study mentioned that hydrogen water was a promising candidate for the prevention of diabetes development. Hydrogen may benefit metabolic syndrome. The administration of H2 water for 4 weeks significantly reduced LDL and total cholesterol levels. Hydrogen may benefit obesity. It appears that the oral administration of H2 might be a beneficial agent in the management of body composition and insulin resistance in obesity. Hydrogen may benefit hyperglycemia. This study shows that H2 water decreased levels of plasma glucose, insulin, and triglycerides. It states the effects of hydrogen on hyperglycemia was similar to a diet restriction. And hydrogen may benefit complications that result from diabetes, like diabetic kidney dysfunction, diabetic neuropathy, diabetic cardiomyopathy, skin diseases, lesions, and erectile dysfunction. Furthermore, a sufficient supply of hydrogen water may prevent or delay the development and progression of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome by protecting against oxidative stress. Supplementation with H2 water was shown to have a beneficial role in prevention of type 1 and type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. Number 8, pneumonia and influenza. Some of the ways hydrogen can benefit these two things is by reducing oxidative stress, inflammation, edema, benefiting the immune system, indirectly regulating genes and pathways in our bodies, and having a suppressive effect on viruses. The benefits of hydrogen have also been implicated in immune processes, such as the immune response to viral infections or vaccinations, and the innate immune activation. Side note, we actually have 3 videos on how hydrogen may benefit COVID-19. And it appears hydrogen is accomplishing a host of benefits in multiple different ways. We are making a featured video about hydrogen for COVID-19 in the near future. Number 9, hydrogen for kidney disease. Hydrogen may benefit chronic kidney disease. One study called H2 water a novel strategy for the prevention of chronic kidney disease and cardiorenal syndrome. Hydrogen may benefit kidney function. Hydrogen restored kidney function and decreased oxidative stress levels. Hydrogen may benefit kidney injury and kidney stones. Inhalation of H2 reduces crystallization, kidney oxidative injury, and inflammation, and may be a candidate with few adverse effects for the prevention of kidney stones. And hydrogen may have benefit for kidney dialysis and kidney transplantation. And number 10, suicide. For this video, we discuss mental health and its effects on suicide, especially considering that 90% of those who die by suicide have a diagnosable mental disorder. We explain some of the ways oxidative stress and inflammation can play a role in mental health and how hydrogen can benefit in that way. Then we looked at some specific mental health disorders. Hydrogen may benefit depression. Hydrogen water may prevent the development and progression of depressive-like behaviors. Hydrogen may benefit anxiety. Hydrogen water may decrease anxiety-like behaviors and prevent heightened oxidative stress. Hydrogen may benefit bipolar disorder and schizophrenia partly by benefiting the mitochondria. And we looked at how hydrogen may benefit stress. Repeated inhalation of hydrogen gas enhances resilience when subject to acute or chronic stress by blocking normal stress-induced depressive and anxiety-like behaviors. Hydrogen as a preventative and or therapeutic molecule has beneficial effects on resilience to stress and even to stress-related disorders including depression and anxiety. Wow, that took a long time. And get this, these are only the benefits of hydrogen that we have already covered. There are many more benefits we are planning on covering, and much more hydrogen benefits that we can cover even beyond that. Here are some more hydrogen benefits that we plan on doing videos on. Hydrogen for our reproductive systems, for plants, for pets, for arthritis, our eyes, our ears, our skin, and even more like gut health, digestion, bone health and disorders, altitude sickness, the liver, hormone regulation, the nervous system, detoxification of the body, and so much more. So now it's your turn to comment below with the number you wrote on your paper. I would love to see your numbers below and see how many people hydrogen can really help. I wouldn't ask you to do something that we wouldn't do ourselves, so we tallied up how many people we thought of through this video as well, and they're going to be pinned in the comments. It really puts into perspective that this is just not something to learn about. This is something that has the potential to really make a difference in so many people's lives. So go watch the videos I mentioned if you want more in-depth information on everything I talked about. And be sure to share this video with everyone so we can get the word out and help more people. And this was your world-changing dose of H2 within minutes.